Okay, so since we are already done with the change in temperature, let us now proceed to the change of phase. So when we talk about change of phase or change of state, it could be from solid to liquid, pwede siya, solid to liquid, pwede din from liquid to gas, pwede. And there is a process for that. Meron din tayong solid to gas, pwede din, solid to gas. Okay, or the other way around, the reversible process, from gas to liquid, pwede. From liquid to solid, pwede. And then from gas to solid. Yan. So pwede. These are the different changes of phase. And alam niyo na ano ang mga terminologies dyan, no? Na-discuss na natin din sa mga side. For example, from solid to liquid, ano ang tawag natin dito? The process is melting. Ano? Melting. Or in some groups, ang tawag natin dito fusion. Ayan, fusion. From liquid to gas. Kasi tawag from liquid to gas. Wala naman mga yan. Review na lang yun actually ni. So it is known as vaporization or evaporation. Evap or vapor. So, lagi siya boiling. You know? Review lang natin eh. Kabalo ko nga na-encounter na yung mga terms. But what is the difference between evaporation and vaporization? Pareho lang sila from liquid to gas, but the difference is if dadaan ba siya sa boiling. If dadaan ba siya sa boiling. For example, if dadaan siya sa boiling, ang tawag natin is vaporization. Okay? For example, mag-boil ka of water. Mag-boil ka of water, mag-boil of water. So dadaan siya sa boiling. So there is a transition from liquid to gas. So that is vaporization. Vaporization. Kasi kapag hindi siya dadaan sa boiling, hindi siya mag-boil, ang tawag natin doon, evaporation. That's why, yung tawag natin sa water cycle, from liquid to gas, dun sa ocean, for example, it's called evaporation, not vapor, kasi hindi naman dadaan sa boiling ang ocean. Okay? Ay, magwagi pag boiling ang ocean. Ayun. So that's the difference between evaporation and vaporization. Yes, Chris, you're raising your hand.
Ay, magsabi sa lang sir na medyo malayo po boses niyo, paking.
Ano yun? Ano yun? Ay, hello.
Medyo malayo po ang boses niyo.
Wala din ako na-change, nakuha ng ang mic. Okay, sorry. Okay. So how about from solid to gas? Ano ang tawag natin from solid to gas? Search mo na ninyo. No? Ano sa'yo tawag sa solid to gas?
Sir.
It is?
Sublimation.
Okay, good. It is sublimation. Pareha ng mga mothballs, alcampur, na ginabutang bitaw sa cabinet. Dapat ginabutang po na sa inyo, ha? Okay, how about from familiar naman jud kayo mo ni? How na kayo mo ni guro? Gas to liquid. This is condensation. Naman ni pag high school. Condensation, di ba? Liquid to solid, this is freezing or solidification. Solidification. Yan. However, in some books, pareho lang ang process ng melting at saka freezing, fusion ang tawag. Sa both process, reversible process of melting and freezing. Ang tawag natin is fusion. How about from gas to solid? Ano ang tawag natin dito from gas to solid? This is known as This is known as the deposition. I-review lang nato kay para ma-refresh ang iyong mga knowledge ba. Deposition. Now, dadagdagan natin yung knowledge natin. Kapag ang process natin nasa taas,
lahat ng processes na nandito sa taas, like fusion, vaporization, and sublimation, ang tawag natin sa kanila, endothermic. Yung sabi ko kanina, endothermic process. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo magdadagdag ng heat. For example, kapag mag-boil ka, di ba, mag-add man ka og heat. Okay, so endothermic process. You add heat. Positive ang heat. Ito sa baba, the process are exothermic. Exothermic process. Ayan. So that means kailangan mo mag-remove ng heat. Kailangan mo mag-remove ng heat. Okay? Question so far? Wala? Okay. Now, if you want to change the state of matter from solid to liquid or from liquid to gas, so kailangan mo mag-change ng phase. Kailangan mo muna i-break ang mga intermolecular forces of attraction. Familiar? Na-discuss na ninyo sa organic chemistry, no? Intermolecular forces of attraction. So for you to change state from solid to liquid, dapat i-break mo muna ang intermolecular forces of attraction. From liquid to gas, dapat i-break mo muna ang intermolecular forces of attraction. Tama? So ano-ano yung mga intermolecular forces of attraction? Di ba? Meron tayong apat ba? Dugay naman kayo na mo ina-discuss. College pa ko. Sige David, what are those intermolecular? Di ba naman tayo inter, napo tayo intra. Ang intramolecular forces, atong covalent ug ionic. So intra to sila. Ang intermolecular forces of attraction, ano yon? Si David? Basig naka
Dispersion force.
Okay, natay dipole. Ito. Ay kung di mo kabalo ito, anta mong Sir J. Natay dipole. Natay unsa man?
Dispersion.
London dispersion.
Hydrogen bond, and then London dispersion. How done nila uy? London dispersion. Ano pa? Mora?
Ion dipole.
Okay, good. Meron tayong ion dipole. Ayan. Mora ba ni?
Yes.
Hindi lagi na ako mabasa ang chat. What happened? Okay, so now kailangan natin i-break ang mga intermolecular forces of attraction natin. Tama? So kapag mas malakas ang intermolecular force, again, kapag mas strong ang intermolecular force, ibig sabihin, mas kailangan natin ng heat. Okay, so ano yung pinakamalakas dito na intermolecular force? Hydrogen bond, dipole, London, or ion?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen ba ang pinakamalakas?
Ay.
It is? Unsa?
Version.
La!
Dipole.
Ipantog at mo ka,
Ion
Sir Jamie.
dipole.
Hydrogen.
Nagbintot-bintot na.
Dipole, sir.
Hydrogen, di ba? Sir?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, sir,
di ba,
hydrogen.
sir?
Hydrogen, eh?
Ay, may H.
Final answer, sir.
Hydrogen, sir,
Hydrogen.
Lisod man i-break.
Hydrogen, sir.
It
Sir,
is,
Hydrogen.
gatak na ka, sir.
it is ion dipole. Ion dipole ang
Oh.
pinaka-strong. So, the bond between an ion and a dipole. For example, salt solution. Mas mataas ang kanyang boiling point if may ion dipole. Okay? For example, mayroong dipole, for example, water, tapos i-dissolve mo ang ion like salt, mas mataas ang kanyang ang kanyang boiling point, mas mataas ang kanyang intermolecular force. Followed by hydrogen bond. So pag sinabi nating hydrogen bond, tama ba ko? Basig nakalimot ako na. Basig pataka-taka ra ko pabida-bida ko diri og. Okay, search lang na. Basta ako na-remember dati ion dipole lang. Basig na mali ko. Hydrogen bond is a special type of dipole. Tama no? Special type of dipole siya. But it is a bond between hydrogen and unsa? Ng mga elements. Ano 'yon? Phon. Okay. Fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. Very good. So phon. So they are the most electronegative. So that is why water, so H2O, si water, may hydrogen bond. Si ammonia, mayroong hydrogen bond. Si hydrofluoric acid, mayroong hydrogen bond. So yun. Ang next is dipole-dipole. So these intermolecular forces of attraction are present in polar covalent bonds. So sa polar covalent bonds, lang mo ganang dipole, kay sa polar covalent bonds na sila. Now, we also have non-polar covalent bonds. Tama, no? Non-polar. So, ang present sa kanila is ang London dispersion force. For example, saturated hydrocarbons, mga methane, ethane, ano? Ang mga, ang ba na sila diha? So, non-polar London dispersion force. Okay, so we need to break those intermolecular forces of attraction para mag-change tayo ng phase from solid to liquid or from liquid to gas. Okay? Ayun. So if ever ang sa change of temperature natin, kanina sa change of temperature, ang property natin is specific heat. So MC delta T. Ano naman ang sa change of phase? So ang sa change of phase, it is latent heat. Okay? Latent heat. So H is equal to M. Okay? Instead of C, gagawin nating L, which stands for latent, L, latent heat. Now, is there a change of temperature? Meron ba tayong delta T? Take note, there is no change in temperature. Okay? Walang change in temperature. So that means, wag mong lalagyan ng delta T. Do you follow? Wag mong lalagyan ng delta T. So our equation will be H is equal to ML. Okay? Mass times the latent heat. Nakuha. Now, sir, meron naman tayong iba-ibang change of phase. Meron tayong fusion, vaporization, solidification, condensation, and sublimation. So ano sa kanila yung L, sir? So if ever, ang L natin is, ang change of phase natin is from solid to liquid or from liquid to solid. So ito silang dalawa. So ang tawag natin sa latent heat natin is latent heat of fusion. So it is from solid to liquid or vice versa. Okay? Solid to liquid or liquid to solid. So ang tawag natin is latent heat of fusion. Kasi nga, fusion naman yung process na yon. Now, if ever the change is from liquid to gas, yan, liquid to gas or gas to liquid.
Palong ako po. Kindly react thumbs up if ever you can hear me clearly. Nadaot ko lang kung ano napalong nalubat. Okay, madunggan pa dahil ko na. Good. So asa na ko ato? So if ever the change is from liquid to gas or from gas to liquid, the process is vaporization or condensation. So that means it is now latent heat of vaporization. Do you follow? If it is from liquid to gas and vice versa. Questions? Questions so far? Wala? Okay, so as I told you kanina, yung specific heat is a property of a material. So iba-ibang material, iba-iba din sila ng specific heat. Pareho lang din yan sa latent heat. Meron din tayong iba-ibang latent heat sa iba't ibang materials. So for example, ito yung mga materials natin. You do not need to memorize everything, ha? Ito lang sa water ang kailangan nyo i-memorize. Yan, sa water lang. Okay? Yun ang kailangan mo i-memorize. Hindi ko naman memorize yan lahat. Water lang po na akong i-memorize. So alam natin that the melting point of ice or the freezing point, Pareho lang ang melting and freezing kasi nga reversible process lang sila. Ang isa endothermic, ang isa exothermic. So pareho lang, it is 0 degrees Celsius. Kabalo naman tayo, no? Now, the boiling point of water or the condensation point, pareho lang gihapon sila because they are reversible. Ang isa endothermic, ang isa exothermic condensation point, it's 100 degrees Celsius. Okay? So far, so good. Okay, so meron tayong mga constants. Sir, paano namin yan? Paano mag-make sense yung mga values na yan? So for example, ilagay natin siya into perspective. Meron tayong ice cubes. Meron tayong ice cube. For example, ice. Ice. Ice at, for example, ice ni, ice at negative 10 degrees Celsius. Ice at negative 10 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, of course, ice at negative 10 degrees Celsius, that's solid. Tama, no? Solid, magina siya lang. Liquid ice gani. Ice gani. So, that means that is solid. Now, what if we are going to place this ice under the heat of the sun? Ato siyang painitan. So, of course, the temperature of ice will change. Tama, no? From negative 10, tataas ang temperature, magtaas ang temperature, magtaas ang temperature, until such time na mag-start na og ka-melt ang atong ice. Do you follow? Mag-start og ka-melt ang atong ice. So there will be a transition from solid to liquid. Nakuha? Transition from solid to liquid. So there is a change of phase from solid to liquid. Nag-start na og ka-melt ang atong ice. So hinay-hinay mag-melt, hinay-hinay mag-melt. The question is, at what temperature mag-start og ka-melt? That is the melting point of our water. Melting point. Okay, at what temperature? Sige, ito yung melting point. 0, di ba? 0 degrees Celsius. And then the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. So that means at 0 degrees Celsius, mag-start na og ka-melt ang atuang ice. Do you follow? Mag-start na siya og ka-melt. Yan, nag-start og ka-melt, nag-start og transition from solid to liquid. Now, during the transition, during the change of phase, will there be a change of temperature? May change ba sa temperature or wala? During the transition. May change? Wala.
Meron po.
Dili na po matong gaday mo. Hinay mo na ikaw yun. The answer is? Wala. Okay? There is no change in temperature. So that means during the transition, wala tayong change of temperature. It's 0 degrees Celsius. Do you follow? Kasi nga, transition lang yan. There is now a change of phase na nangyayari. So, kailan lang tayo mag-change ng temperature? Kailan lang mag-change ng temperature? If ever, tapos na mag-melt lahat. Na-melt na lahat ng ice. Okay? So, kapag ka na-melt na lahat ng ice, tapos na ang melting process, saka pa mag-change ang temperature. So, mag-change ng temperature. So, this is now liquid water. Liquid, tataas ang temperature. Iinit yung water natin. Iinit, until such time na mag-start na boil. Tama, no? Mag-start og ka-boil ang ato ang liquid water. If ano? Mag-start og ka-boil ang ato ang liquid water. So there will be a transition from liquid to gas. Nakuha? There will be a transition from liquid to gas. At what temperature? Mangyayari ang transition na yan. Mangyayari yan at 100 degrees Celsius. Do you follow? At 100 degrees Celsius. So pagdating ng 100 degrees Celsius, of course, experience would tell us na mag-start na boil ang water. Kahit gaano pa karaming yung heat ang idadagdag mo sa water, hindi mag-change ang temperature. Do you follow? Kasi nga, there is only a transition. Mayroon lang tayong change of phase na nangyayari. So during that transition, during that process, will there be a change in temperature? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Ay, nag-yes. During the transition,
Um,
there is No change in temperature. During the transition ha, walang change in temperature na mangyayari. So that is why kapag ka magpa-boil ka ng water, kahit gaano pa karaming heat ang idadagdag mo, boiling point is still 100. Magstay lang yan siya sa 100 degrees Celsius during the change of phase, during the transition process. Do you follow? The question is, kailan siya mag-change? Kailan mag-change ang temperature? For example, ako ang i-contain ang steam. Wala na akong ipagawas ang steam. Naka-contain lang ang steam inside. Kailan mag-change ang temperature? Nag-gas na siya. If ever, lahat ng water, okay? If ever lahat ng water magiging gas na siya. Okay? Lahat ng water magiging gas na siya. So kapag nagiging gas na siya, of course, if naka-contain siya, i-contain mo yung steam, saka pa siya mag-change ng temperature. So the answer kanina sa question ni Mark, sir, hanggang 100 lang ba ang aabutin ng water? No. Pwede siya aabot ng any temperature as long as naka-contain ang katong steam. Okay? Naka-contain ang steam. If you're referring to water, hanggang 100 lang ba ang liquid, ang kaya maabot sa liquid? Yes. Hanggang 100 lang ang kaya iabutin ng liquid. Kasi nga, more than 100, magiging gas naman siya. But it is still the same water. Do you follow? So for example, aabot siya ng 110 degrees Celsius. So this is still gas. Questions? Question? None? Okay. Let us try to connect specific heat and latent heat. Paano natin sila i-connect? At this portion here, dito sa part na ito, is there a change in temperature? Dito na arrow, may change ba tayo? Yes. From -10, naging 0. So since there is a change of temperature, ang gagamitin natin dyan na equation is mc delta T. Do you follow? Kasi nga, there is a change in temperature from -10 to 0. How about at this portion here? Ano ang nangyayari dito na portion? Ang nangyayari dito is just a change of phase, transition from solid to liquid. So that means ang gagamitin natin na equation is H is equal to mass times latent heat. Do you follow? Change of phase. The question is it fusion or vaporization? Anyone?
Fusion, sir.
Okay, very good. It is fusion. Ayun. O, diba? Ganun lang. How about this portion here? Dito na portion. There is a change in temperature kasi nga from 0 to 100. So, MC delta T. Ayun. O, diba? Dito na po, portion, there is only a change of phase. Change of phase. Transition from liquid to gas. So that is heat is equal to MLV, vaporization. Kasi nga, liquid to gas. Okay? Now at this portion here, there is a change of temperature. So that means heat is equal to MC delta T. Questions? Mark, na-answer na ko yung question kanina, Mark?
Yes po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Questions? Wala? O, di ba? Ganun lang ang connection ni specific heat and ni latent heat. Combination talaga yan sila always. If ever continuous ang heat natin. Now, bigay pa ako ng isang example. For example, meron tayong gold bar. Meron tayong gold bar. Na solid. Of course, gold bar, gold. Alam siguro gold bar na liquid. So gold bar na, so this is gold at 28 degrees Celsius, for example. So that means that gold bar is solid. Lahat man siguro ng metal at room temperature is solid except one. Merong isang metal na liquid at room temperature. So anong metal na yon? Eh, i-search kaya ako na ibutang sa exam. Isa itong metal nga liquid siya at room temperature.
Sana, Sir Mercury?
Yes, very good. It's mercury. Ayun, how da aning lens eh? Okay,
Char.
so gold, for example, is solid at room temperature. So what if i-heat natin yung gold? Okay? Ibutang nato sa kanabitang sa itawag anang furnace ba na? Anang kainitanan sa mga metals. Okay? So i-heat nato si aluminum, si gold. So ano mangyayari kay gold? Tataas yung temperature, tama? Iinit ang temperature ni gold, iinit ang temperature ni gold, iinit ang temperature ni gold until such time na aabot siya sa point na mag-start na siya o ka-melt. Tama no? There will be melting process. So mag-start na siya melt, there will be a transition from solid to liquid. At what temperature? Anong temperature mag-melt ang gold? Kapuya, balik dito yun. Naka-picture mo? Sa to? Sa yung melting point? Melting point of gold is 1063 siguro to. Degrees
Yes,
Celsius. Ang boiling point kay 2616 siguro to. Degrees Celsius. Nana, dito sa table, daraw. Okay? So, ayan. At this portion here, mag-start na melt atong gold, 1063 degrees Celsius. So, during the process of melting, will there be a change of temperature? The answer is no. Walang change in temperature. So still the same, 1063 degrees Celsius. So there will just be a transition from solid to liquid. But there is no change in temperature. Kailan lang mag-change ang temperature ng ating gold? Kailan lang siya mag-change ang temperature? May I ask? Maxine. Maxine, are you there?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello, Maxine. Kailan lang mag-change ang temperature natin, Maxine, ng gold? Na-melt na yung gold natin from solid to liquid. Kailan siya mag-change ng temperature? If ever?
If ever, like, mag-reach siya sa, melting point niya, sir?
Yes, na-reach na siya sa melting point niya, Maxine. So, nag-start na siya ng melt. Kailan siya mag-change ng temperature? Kasi during melting process, wala pang change ng temperature. So, kailan siya mag-change ng temperature na? If ever?
Yung pag-init ng gold, sir, nag-i-apply na yung heat.
Yes, nag-apply na tayo ng heat. Pero during melting, wala pa mang change. For example, ang solid na to, nag-start na siya o ka-melt. During the process, hindi pa siya mag-change. Pero kapag dadagdagan natin yung heat, kailan siya magtataas yung temperature natin? If ever lahat ng solid magiging?
Magiging gas, sir.
Magiging?
Gas.
Gas na diretso? Ang solid?
Ay, maging liquid po.
Liquid, very good. So, if lahat ng solid, thank you, Maxine. If lahat ng solid, magiging liquid. So, for example, wala na yung solid ba? Molten na siya lahat. So, natapos na yung melting process. Lahat ng solid nagiging liquid. Saka pa siya mag-change ng temperature. So, iinit yung liquid natin, until such time na aabot siya sa point na mag-start na siya boil. Do you follow? Boiling. So, there will be a transition from liquid to gas. At what temperature yan, Maxine?
At 1063 po, sir.
Ang boiling.
Ay, boiling. 2,660.
2,660. Very good. 2,660 degrees Celsius. During the process, Maxine, will there be a change of temperature? Yes or no during the process?
Wala po, sir.
Wala. Very good. So the temperature is still the same as?
So the same as yung boiling point niya, sir.
Okay, very good. 2,660 degrees Celsius. Very good. So ganun lang ang process. Okay, so if ever na-gas na siya, mag-change lang ang temperature. If ever, lahat ng liquid naging gas na siya. Naku ha? Ayun. So let us try to combine specific heat and let us identify the equations na gagamitin natin? May I ask? Saan ipabasa na iyang pangalan? Si Jif? Saan ipabasa? Marian?
Chev
Ay,
lang, sir.
Chev, di ay Chev. Lisod ko ba? Yes, Chev. Ano ang gagamitin natin na equation at this portion here, Chev? Dito.
Solution formula for specific heat, sir.
Very good. Which is M?
MC, then change of temperature.
Very good. At this portion here, Chev,
Formula for latent heat.
which is?
H is equals to ml.
Is it V or F?
V?
Mm-hmm.
I, F, D, I.
F?
Wait, F ba? Wait lang.
We'll change
F,
my answer
sir.
sa mga...
F.
Is it F or V? Final answer.
F, sir.
F. Very good. Mo change ang answer sa mga estudyante. Basta mo change ang tingog sa teacher. F or V? V, sir. V? F, sir. F? Mo change na. Mo change na ang answer. Okay, how about this portion here, Shag?
Specific heat na
Okay, very
formula,
good.
sir.
So, MC delta T. At this portion here,
Latent heat, then daraan na tong V.
okay, very
MLV.
good. So, ganun lang. Di ba? So, ganun lang kadali. So, hindi ba tayo magpa-problem solving for this afternoon? Next meeting na lang. Okay? Questions so far? So, take note, napakataas ng problem solving natin ha, kasi we will go through all of these processes. Change of heat, change of phase, change of heat, change of phase ulit. Question so far, wala? Klaro? Kindly react hard if ever klaro yung discussion natin. There are no clarifications so that I can proceed. I can end our lesson. Wala na? Okay na? Okay, good. But before we will proceed, meron akong questions. It is a hypothetical question. For example, let us try to analyze aluminum, copper, gold, lead, and silver. Ito sila. Yan. For example, there is a room containing these different materials. Sa room na yon, mayroong aluminum, mayroong copper, mayroong gold, mayroong lead, and mayroong ding silver. And then yung room na yon is nasunog. Ano yung pinakauna masira na object?
Wala, sir.
Ha? Wala?
Sa may definition sa masira, sir. Char.
Mamelt.
Mamelt, sir. Mamelt.
Yes, mamelt.
Ang lead.
Okay, very good. So ang lead, followed by?
Followed by aluminum, sir.
Okay, very good. So that means different materials will melt at different temperatures. So for example, hindi yun ang scenario ko. Ang scenario ko is, ay, simbahan, for example. And then nasunog ang simbahan. Tanan yung object na sunog, nag-melt tanan yung object, walay nabilin except for one thing. And that is the crucifix. Question, is it a miracle or not? Is it supernatural or not?
Dili, sir.
Yes, Joven?
Copper.
Is it supernatural or not?
Dili, sir.
Dili siya supernatural? Na naman nakaingon man ka, Joven?
Ay, pag ano, sir, masunog ang simbahan, tas wala na ano ang crucifix.
Oh, wala na pilog kasunog.
Ay, sir,
Depende sa material.
depende sa ano, sir, unsa gama ang crucifix.
Very good. So depende siya sa material. Okay, made of crucifix. So if it is made of gold, of course, napakatagal niya mag-melt, no? But if it is made of silver, possible. If it is made of aluminum, possible na mag-melt siya. Okay? Pero kung hindi na siya ma-explain, kanya siya, miracle. Any other questions? Wala?